All right, ladies and gentlemen, the box office numbers are in for Wonder Woman 1984, which opened ahead in theaters in China. It opened to a woeful $18.8 million in China for a $38 million box office foreign start. For context, what Wonder Woman 1984 made entirely internationally in its opening weekend is what it made in China alone for Wonder Woman 1 back in, I believe it was 2017 now. So a difficult start for Wonder Woman, but the thing is, even Tenet had issues. If Chris Nolan movies aren't making money, that's a pretty big problem. Granted, Chris Nolan, this is a whole nother conversation, but his trajectory is kind of looking like this, like a downhill trajectory. And I say this as a huge Chris Nolan fan. I haven't even seen Tenet, so you might say, oh, you're not really a Chris Nolan fan. But I mean, I just haven't gone to the movie theaters to see it. I haven't seen it. But not only that, I mean, I heard pretty mixed things about it, that there's very minimal character development to the point that the character doesn't even have a name. And it's just like, Chris, I mean, you're going from Memento, where, yes, he's playing with the themes of time and everything like that in a really interesting way. But now he's getting to, like, there's no characters. I mean, even in Dunkirk, there's hardly any character development. We don't get any backstory on any of our characters. And in this movie, it's even less. And it's like, you know, I don't know why you're doing that when in Memento, it was really a character piece that made that so compelling. But anyway, all of that aside, so Wonder Woman 1984 is off to a rough start. And not only that, there are reports coming out that WB was concerned while Wonder Woman was shooting that it would actually not perform well, or that there would be some issues with the box office performance. And 2 weeks ago, Patty Jenkins addressed the fact that Wonder Woman 1984 is likely not going to make money. So there are two aspects of this. Obviously, amid the pandemic, you know, people aren't going to be going to the movie theater as much. But the real question is, how many sales of HBO Max will this drive? In other words, how many people will sign up for HBO Max to be able to watch Wonder Woman 1984, which comes out the same exact day as the film in theaters, which is December 25th, Christmas Day. And it's going to be on HBO Max for a month. And then on January 25th, it's getting pulled down. So it's a pretty minimal amount of time. And that's obviously incentivizing people to sign up for a month. The question is, will people sign up for a month and then quit? Which is probably, not going to lie, what I'm going to do. Why would I get HBO Max? I mean, even the other day, I was trying to watch a UNC sports game. I'm obviously a UNC fan. And CBS has their own streaming service. And then we have Hulu and Netflix and, you know, CBS Max and whatever. I mean, even ABC has their own streaming platform now, and Apple and Peacock. And it's like, there's so many streaming platforms that nobody could possibly pay for all of them, and nobody wants to. So it's really a huge problem with the industry, where now the rights to every single show is being segmented so heavily, and everybody's undermining one another. And the whole concept of Netflix is that, oh, you just pay $10 a month and you get everything. Everybody sort of sells the rights to Netflix. Now Netflix has almost nothing on it, but also Hulu has nothing on it. And it's just a big problem for the industry. But anyway, back to Wonder Woman and the topic at hand. Wonder Woman opens to only $18 million in China, $38 million overall. And, you know, they took a while to release the numbers. They released much later than they ordinarily would. And we can kind of understand why, because the numbers are really not that great. Additionally, a total international haul for opening weekend of Wonder Woman 2017 of $90.5 million. And now, obviously, their opening weekend here is just a third of that. So not looking great for them. I also am curious to know the budget for the film, because the sequel, I'm seeing it right here, was $200 million. The budget for the first one was lower, for sure. I think it might have even been under 100, but if so, probably around that 100 range. It wasn't nearly on the level of BVS, for instance, right? Or even Man of Steel. So that's going to be a problem for this film. $200 million budget. You have the marketing cost and then the HBO Max cost and everything. That's getting up to 500 easily. You have a probably, I would say, 6 to 650, maybe even 700 break even. We'll say 600 safely. So you have a 600 million break even, and opening weekend it made 38. Your opening weekend is supposed to be your biggest earner, right? Now the trick with this, the wild card in this, because if we're looking at the math here of just theaters, $38 million opening weekend, opening in the U.S. domestically next weekend, probably not going to do that great. A lot of theaters still closed. I know all the movie theaters in L.A. are closed 100%. You know, that's not a recipe to make money. Tenet didn't make any money. So it's kind of screwed. That's what Patty Jenkins is saying. But of course, WB is not really looking at box office numbers all that much. They're more looking at how many people can we get to sign up for HBO Max? How many conversions can we get of people to get in our ecosystem? And then once they're in HBO Max, they're like, oh, now we're going to watch some other HBO shows, some other WB shows, watch the Warner Brothers catalog, that type of thing. Of course, the problem is that even all of the, DC movie catalog is not in HBO Max. So it's not a great service yet. As I said, the main problem is that all of these rights are being divvied up among 15 different goddamn streaming platforms. And the whole thing was cable. When we were having cable, what was it? $250 a month. So expensive. And all of our money was going to these channels that we don't even watch. Now we, cut up our cable and we just got Netflix and we just got Hulu and we paid whatever, $20-$30 a month. And then we had everything we needed. And now everybody's like, wow, Hulu's making a lot of money. Look at their stock prices, $70, $80. Now we're going to become Hulu. And now WB wants to be Hulu. Apple wants to be Hulu. Then you have, once again, like Roku and Apple, Amazon TV, Netflix. It's just, there's so much competition. And on one hand, it's good for the industry because now Amazon and Netflix and others are creating original series, which is creating new jobs for the industry, which is good. But on the downside, it's basically, a lot of these shows are dying after one season. These Netflix originals aren't doing anything. Netflix subscription, numbers are not looking good at all. And Apple TV Plus has been a huge flop. I mean, they were doing that movie. They're doing all these original movies with like Tom Hanks that didn't do anything, not great launch there. So I think that all these companies are losing a ton of money on these launches, which I kind of find hilarious, if I'm being honest, because they're all chasing the success of Netflix. And incidentally, they're sinking Netflix and ruining Netflix and what they're doing. And then they're all going to, get screwed over too. So at the end of the day, it's going to be, I think for the next 5 years, it's going to be this huge battle between Peacock and, again, Netflix and Hulu and Apple Plus and HBO and Disney Plus and all of these streaming platforms. And at the end of the day, like most of them are going to fail. Probably, if I'm being honest, probably HBO Max. I don't think that they have the catalog to support them in the same way Disney was. I mean, Disney has classic movies. They have like all the Disney animated movies on there. They're creating all of these Star Wars spin-off shows that people are just not going to be able to resist. What on HBO Max can you not resist watching? The Snyder Cut? Yes, I'm going to sign up and watch it and then cancel my subscription. I'll probably watch it 5 times in the month that I have my subscription, but I don't want to watch anything else on HBO Max. What am I going to watch? Looney Tunes? Fucking cartoons from the 60s? They're like their classic shows and movies don't compare with Disney. They probably don't even compare with Paramount and others, Like WB has risen to prominence in the 80s a little bit, but I don't see their catalog and I'm like, whoa, I gotta get HBO Max. Like, what am I gonna watch? And that's the thing is that now, I saw a tweet from somebody that I follow the other day. I think it was Greg Pop. I could be wrong. Sorry if it's not you, Greg. Somebody that I saw who was like, I signed up for Hulu just to watch this show. I think it was South Park, and then they removed it the next day, and now there's nothing to watch. It's like all these random Hulu originals that nobody wants to watch. Now, of course, if with your Hulu subscription, random person out there that tweeted that, you can watch Keeping Up with the D'Amelios, which is coming to Hulu in 2021. So really, basically what's happening is like directors and actors are basically sucking all of these, companies dry, all these production companies that are dumping billions and billions into their streaming platforms thinking they're going to be as big as Netflix, and they're all going to fail. Almost all of them are. They're almost all going to fail. Now, the good part of it is that, yes, they really are competing extremely hard for our money. And that's what we are seeing now out of WB and Disney in particular. So Disney in particular is making all these Star Wars shows. That's going to make people sign up. Disney is going to be good. Disney Plus is good. Apple TV, oh my God, that's like dead in the water already. Just cancel it now. There's no way in hell that's going to work. Even when you're giving it for free to everybody. I mean, I just bought a TV for my new living room, and they're giving those subscriptions away for free. I still don't want it. What the hell am I going to watch on Apple Plus TV? I mean, I have my Apple TV box that I plug in and watch YouTube on, but I don't want to watch Apple original shows. Apple doesn't know a goddamn thing about making shows or movies. So I don't want to watch anything they make. It's like, why? And so all of these streaming platforms are going to be defeating one another, and that's probably what we're going to see with Wonder Woman here. So I don't even think that Wonder Woman is going to successfully drive many people to HBO Max, and if they do, they'll watch it for a month, cancel. Well, I saw Wonder Woman. I paid $10 for the month to watch Wonder Woman on HBO Max. That's about how much I'd pay to go to the movies. Then when the movie theater reopens, they're obviously, AMC is going bankrupt in next month, so they're probably going to be undercutting all of the studios heavily with $5 movie tickets. I mean, I just watched Die Hard in theaters. It was like $5 at AMC. They're just desperate for cash right now. And I think that that's actually, that's a bad situation for the industry to be in. Where do we really want a world in which all we can do is watch Wonder Woman 1984 in our living room? And then we have to pay $15 to 20 different companies just to watch the movies and TV shows we want to watch? That's so stupid. It's a ridiculous system. So I'm actually looking forward to, this is kind of a shitty thing to say, but I'm actually looking forward to some of these streaming platforms to fail because they need to be consolidated. Like the rights to these shows can't be divvied up amongst 15 different companies and services. It needs to be consolidated more like it was 5 years ago with Netflix and Hulu, where it's like, if I want to watch The Walking Dead, I get on Netflix, it's there. If I want to watch pretty much any other show, Netflix has probably paid for the rights. Now it's like, get AMC Plus. Like, I bet AMC is going to get their own streaming platform. If they don't already, who knows? But, CBS was trying to get me to pay to watch a basketball game. And I'm like, no, I'm not paying for CBS. What the hell am I going to watch on CBS? Big Bang Theory? You think I'm going to pay $7 a month to watch Big Bang Theory or whatever they have? It's like, get the hell out of here. This is ridiculous. So basically, the ideal world of what I would like to see is HBO Max, which is going to be renovated to like something WB named, which it should be. It's not just HBO stuff. I want to see Disney Plus. Keep that. Netflix, Hulu, and that's honestly it. Like these other studios don't even have a good enough catalog to justify having a streaming platform. Again, CBS, ABC? What am I going to watch? George Stephanopoulos? I just don't understand what their plan is for this. So, yeah, cable's dying, and the companies that are dying are actually going to die in the streaming market too, which is interesting, is that it's not just going to be, like, oh, cable's dead, now we're going to go to new media. It's like, no, nobody's going to watch your shit on the streaming platforms either. Like, the stuff that's driving sales is Disney Plus and Justice League, extended cut and exclusive DC shows. So now what DC needs to do is they need to come out and announce a bunch of new shows, just like Star Wars did. That's what HBO Max has to do. Otherwise, it's going to die a slow and painful death.